Hi, this is Kristi Blankenship here, also known as Miss KB, here in my online classroom. Today I'm going to be sharing what I've learned about product versus process curriculum models. So the product model, in a nutshell, it gives students a desirable, or teachers, a desirable end product in student learning. So they use behavioral objectives and facilitate communication of what is intended, and therefore leads to more purposeful learning, more accurate methods of testing and evaluation. Learning is predetermined by the teacher, while students take more of a passive role in their learning. This model leads to desirable learning outcomes for the teacher, mastery of specific skills, acquisition of certain appropriate attitudes and behaviors. On the other hand, the process model of curriculum design allows for students to have some choices. Basically, the goal is to not master, but to keep improving on skills over time. And having growth in abilities. These include information processing skills, problem solving skills, social skills, manipulative skills, observation, communication, as well as developing attitudes, morals, and values. Providing appropriate learning experiences. So the teachers would provide a learning experience, but the student would choose what kind of experience they wanted to have. Emphasis in the process model is on individualized and independent learning. All right, so moving on. So learning theories that fit each model. The subject-centered learning theory describes what needs to be studied and how it should be studied. Teachers are provided a predetermined list of things that they need to teach their students, along with specific examples of how these things should be taught. The subject-centered learning theory is most closely related to the product model. This is because students are not given choice and they are expected to be passive learners in this theory. The product model also emphasizes the role of learning facts and working toward an end product. For example, teachers teaching students what they need to know in order to do well on state testing at the end of the school year. All right, so the learner-centered learning theory takes each individual's needs, interests, and goals into consideration. Learner-centered curriculum design is meant to empower learners and allow them to shape their education through choices. The learner-centered theory is most closely related to the process model because students are active participants in their learning process. This model promotes the idea that students can guide their own learning to develop abilities such as communication and observation skills. And lastly, the problem-centered learning theory is also most closely related to the process model because the curricula focuses on teaching students how to look at a problem and come up with a solution. This theory allows students to be creative and innovative as they are learning. As stated in the process model, students learn to solve real-world problems. They also develop skills of information processing, social interactions, using manipulatives, observation, communication, as well as developing attitudes, morals, and values. All right, and lastly, the model that best describes my curriculum design. As a special education teacher working with students with moderate learning differences and many with social emotional IEP goals, both of these models have a place in my curriculum design. For example, The product model takes into account what students need to learn in order to earn their high school diplomas. These skills include learning based on the state standards through the design of purposeful learning outcomes. The product model also emphasizes the use of accurate testing methods. As a special education teacher, it is crucial that I have regular and accurate assessment data for IEP goal progress. I do believe that some learning needs to be predetermined by the teacher in order to gain accurate data of improved skills over time, both academically and for IEP progress on specific goals. Furthermore, many of my students learn through repetition of specific skills that need to be mastered in order to be successful, in order to have a more successful future. Some of these skills include learning the writing process and developing stronger reading skills. However, the process model has its place in my curriculum design as well. It is extremely important for my students to learn about their own strengths and weaknesses. They need to develop skills that allow them to understand what they enjoy doing and what they are good at in order to better determine future career choices. As a high school special education teacher, it is also my responsibility to help guide my students in discovering potential career paths. They need to determine their own knowledge of themselves through the process of communicating with peers, engaging in real-world problem solving, and learning how they process information in order to reach their own goals. These skills can more likely be learned when given some freedom of choice and self-direction. Students need to understand how to guide their own learning in order to become more productive adults beyond the classroom. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. My full paper is added to the link. Have a great day.